Okay, I just got back from the theater to seeing the Super Mario Galaxy movie. And it was fun. I mean, I had fun. Anyway, I just wanted to talk about it because I feel like whenever I get back from a movie, no matter what kind of movie it is, I always either want to talk about it or I want to listen to someone talk about it and just kind of like decompress and hear like their thoughts, explain my thoughts. Anyway, and so I just wanted to record a little thing about that. Anyway, so I'm just gonna talk about like my brief kind of thoughts on the movie, parts I thought were funny, parts I thought were interesting, etc., etc. Also, I'm gonna be spoiling spoiling the Mario movie. That's such a funny sentence to me, but I'm gonna be spoiling parts of it. So if you care about that and you just want to know like a spoiler-free overview, this is not the video for you. But I will say, I mean, if you like Mario just fine, go watch it. And if you don't like Mario, don't watch it. I don't know. That's kind of my entire opinion on that. Anyway, I don't really like spoiler free reviews. I find them very boring because usually if I'm watching a review, I actually want to hear someone's thoughts after I've seen the movie already. Anyway, without further ado, uh, yeah, I don't know. It was a gorgeous movie, that's for sure. Like the entire visual effects of the movie, especially like the whole space theme going on, was just very, very pretty. I really enjoyed that. I thought it was kind of interesting. So, to preface this, I've played very few Mario games, actually. I'm like a huge video game fan. I really liked Super Mario Odyssey, and I grew up playing a lot of the Yoshi games specifically, and I'm very obsessed with the Yoshi spin off games specifically. And I know a good fair share of Mario information from like cultural osmosis, right? But I never played the Galaxy games. I never played them. I don't know why. I just didn't. Um, was Rosalina like canonically the Luma's mom? I feel like they kept calling her mom. She kept calling them her kids. I kind of was under the assumption that she was like kind of a caretaker, kind of like babysitter, but she was like mommy, which I thought was interesting. It's definitely a way to go about it. Overall, there were a lot of things in the movie that I was like, not that one specifically, but there were a lot of things in the movie where I was like, I feel like Nintendo has like gone out of their way to like not have this be part of their brand, and yet they did it anyway. I thought that was kind of, I mean, it's kind of cool, but it's also very strange. But not the Mama Rosalina thing. Maybe just like the idea of like a Mario character canonically like being a parent, I guess, is kind of strange to me. But I guess Bowser is a parent canonically, so ignore that. um, so I had a lot of thoughts on Yoshi before. As I said before, I'm a huge Yoshi fan. I go through this like very intense resurgence of a Yoshi hyperfixation, like what seemingly every year, right? I was a huge fan of the Yoshi's Islands games growing up, and I still am, and I'm slowly working my way through the backlog of newer Yoshi games. This year I recently played Yoshi's Woolly World and Yoshi's Crafted World. I haven't finished them, but I played a good chunk, and I'm really enjoying them. The only Yoshi game I haven't played yet is Yoshi's Story, which I probably will play when I eventually buy the Nintendo 64 upgrade pack for Nintendo Online. I know you can emulate them, I know, but I suck ass at emulating things, and it would be nice to just have it on my Switch. I know that's kind of a loser opinion, but that's where I'm at. But anyway, I haven't played Yoshi's Story yet. I know it works a little differently than the 2D platformer island games or Woolly World. I know it's a little similar to Crafted World, which at first I wasn't really vibing with. Anyway, back to the movie and back to Yoshi. This is just to preface the fact that I am a big Yoshi fan, right? And I thought it was so funny because like they have been using these same lines and sound effects for Yoshi for like 20 years now. So as someone who's played games with those sound effects constantly going, it was very jarring to hear like Donald Glover's like bad Yoshi impression. I mean, it just the Yoshi sound effects are very specific, right? And they're specifically sped up. And so having some guy just not some it's Don Glover, come on, but a guy go Yoshi, blung. It's like very distracting to me specifically as someone who's spent hours listening to those same sound effects, right? And I'm sure a lot of people. I'm being very picky about it, but that was something that I felt was kind of strange. I also thought it was a bit odd how they were doing something very different. So in Mario, and especially Yoshi's Island, right? I'm going from a very biased perspective of the Yoshi Island fan specifically. Yoshi is like older than Mario and Luigi, or at least that's how I kind of interpreted him as being. I know there's like some discourse about that of like the Yoshi that hatches from the egg at the end of Yoshi's Island DS is like actually the Yoshi that they take on their adventure, and the older Yoshi that's protecting them when they were babies is a different Yoshi. But I've always kind of interpreted Yoshi as being like an older, kind of like chill dino guy, right? He's just like a little creature. He like follows them along on their journey. He helps them out, etc. There's different kinds of Yoshis, but they all seem very chill, like older folks that are just gentle creatures. And the characterization of this Yoshi in particular felt very like animalistic, like cute little baby, which is fine, but it felt very different. But seeing the movie, he like they very plainly show him hatching from the egg, like he's a very new dinosaur guy. Um, he's a very new dinosaur guy, right? I mean, they show the montage, but like he can't be any older than this. Obviously, isn't the Yoshi from like the original games or anything like that, right? This is like a new iteration of Yoshi. How like a lot of the characters in the movies are like new iterations. It's kind of like the Sonic movie in that way, where it's like a different canon. These are different interpretations, and we'll get into that further with the like whole twist situation of like Rosalina and Peach or whatever. But so, let's see. Anyway, I ended up actually kind of liking him. I mean, I think in general he looks like so cute. I did see this movie in 3D though, and the 3D effect kept like going specifically with his giant nose, and so like his giant Yoshi nose was just like coming towards us in the theater like every time he would face the camera, and it was really funny to me. Just his giant face. But anyway, he looks very cute. I thought that from the trailers, and I think that just throughout the whole thing, I thought he looked very cute. The visuals, I said before, they're just great. And it was a little weird, some of the like weird cool guy stuff he was doing. They had him wearing sunglasses. They had him like making like Riz faces to the camera, and stuff like that was a bit strange. They had him go like Yoshi, like there were some strange choices, but it felt so like almost camp that I didn't really care at the end. I was like, okay, sure. I just accepted this version of Yoshi, how it was gonna be. And I had a good time, you know. I like that he just kept eating people. Like he just had this like urge to just like consume. I thought that was really beautiful. I like the like weird floating Yoshi power up that they used. I liked the use. This is not Yoshi, but it is kind of. I liked the use of the Ukiki in the movie. I thought that was really cool. I believe Ukiki has only been in the Yoshi Island games. And I liked him. I liked that he was a little shit. I liked that he stole things. Because that's how they are. It was very accurate characterization to the Ukikis from the game, where they just like are little shits, and they just run away and like throw things at you and spit on you and stuff. I'm kind of going through chronologically, but I mean, it was just a cute movie, so there wasn't like, there was so much going on, but nothing except for the things I'm bringing up that stuck out in particular, you know what I mean? I mean, Bowser was really cute. I feel like he was like the star in this a little bit. I liked his little dumb character arc. I like that he was like trying to reform himself, like mostly just to get unleashed, but then he actually is low-key chill when they actually do release him. I thought that was fun. I liked when he went into his shell, and I liked his paintings. Mario was a little bitch though. Can we talk about that? Mario was quite the little bitch in this movie. He was kind of pissing me off. He was like so mean. Not actually. I'm not like actually mad, but he was kind of mean. He had like evil Chris Pratt energy, which I think he probably had in the first movie. It's been a while. But yeah. I guess the main thing that I'm thinking of right now, like chronologically, I mean, the Peach birthday scene with the big sky was really cute. I thought it was really funny that they were like throwing this giant celebration in her honor, and then she's up there like I hate birthdays. Like, well, girl, what? I liked Mario being kind of awkward around Peach. I thought that was fun. That was another thing where I thought, didn't Nintendo come out with that statement that was like Mario and Peach are just friends? And then in this movie, he's like trying to woo her the entire time. I thought that was very strange. I mean, I liked it, and I know a lot of people were upset when Nintendo was like, "Oh yeah, they're gonna be friends." And then in the movie, they weren't friends. Like they very clearly had something going on. But I was fine with it. I had a friend who was like, "Oh, I just want them to be friends," which I thought was interesting because it felt very different from like fans' interpretations of their character. But she was very much like, I want them to be just pals, just cool and chill." I thought that was kind of a cool idea. I like the umbrella that he gives her the umbrella. I thought that was really cute. I almost thought it was going to be the scepter from her game, and I was like, what are they going to do with that? Is she going to have like crying powers now? Like, it was, but they didn't do that, thank God. um, the biggest thing that I'm thinking of, and that I was actually like outwardly exclaiming throughout the movie, is I fucking loved that like dingy, like sketchy underbelly of like I forgot what they call it, the Galaxy Way or whatever, the like train station. There was like these like shady shops, and like all of the Mario enemies were around there, and they all had these like really awesome expressions where they just looked like they were like doing some shady shit, and the Ukiki's just like running around stealing shit, and like no one cares. And yeah, it was just like, I loved it. I genuinely thought it was so funny. I don't think anyone else thought it was funny. I thought it was so funny that they're just like these family-friendly Mario characters, like dealing things under the table and like barking at at Peach. And then just the cream of the crop was that casino area. First of all, an incredibly fun setting for like a fight scene where there's like weird gravity shifting situations going on. But also, I fucking love the idea of Mario characters gambling. Like, that is so funny to me. They were locked in too. They were like, I just love the like smug Koopa expressions, and like the Bomb like just standing on the chair, like waiting, spending all of his life savings away. Like, it was so out of place in like a Nintendo product. And this is another thing where I'm like, didn't they like specifically take gambling out of something? Or am I thinking of Pokemon? I might be thinking of Pokemon, where they took the gambling center out of, I think, one of the Gen 1 games, Gen 1 or Gen 2. And they replaced it with something else. I think Mario put in, there's like the Luigi gambling area, right? Like the Luigi in, I think it was Mario 64, the DS version. But it still feels like Nintendo maybe wouldn't want like their characters like gambling and like playing on slot machines. And that's what made it so awesome to me. I was like actually losing my mind. It was so funny to me. Anyway, I would love to like go and gamble with Koopas and like win the pot. That would be awesome. Oh yeah, I forgot to mention, Bowser Jr.'s eyes are so scary. I think other people have said this too, but they look like dog eyes. And like everyone else has these big glassy cartoon eyes with whites. And maybe it's just because Bowser has like beady eyes, but I swear like all the other beady eyes that they have, yeah, okay, I'm looking at a picture of him right now. And he has the same style eyes as like the Toads or any of the characters with like just the simple black eyes, but they're smaller, right? They're like circular. And instead of just giving him like big glassy eyes like everyone else, they gave him these like really scary, detailed like dog eyes. And he just looks so scary. I don't like it at all. Yeah, those literally look like a dog I've seen recently. Those look like dog eyes. Anyway, I liked him though. I liked his weird paintbrush powers. I guess I don't know anything about any video games, but I don't know if this power is like a thing in the games. Wonder Bowser Jr. Oh, is it from Mario Wonder? I haven't played that one yet. I really want to. Oh, it is. Pretty. Oh, this is such a fun. I love the idea of the mouth on the mask actually becoming a real mouth. When I saw it like lip synced, I thought that was really fun. Oh, that's so fun. Whoa. Okay. Anyway. Sorry, I'm just like looking at it. uh I thought that was really fun. I liked a lot of the fight scenes in this movie. I thought the fight scenes were really well like choreographed and really well like blocked. I enjoyed that a lot. I also enjoyed the father-son dynamic with Bowser and Bowser Jr. I feel like that's kind of like an underrepresented part of their like of Bowser's character, but it's also a part that we've seen little glimpses of. I believe there's a plot point in Sunshine of him and his son, and then I also all the like parenting ads for like Nintendo Online and stuff like that. They always have Bowser and Bowser Jr. and I just think that's really sweet. I like the idea of this like villain character like his edges kind of being filed down slightly by like having this really caring dynamic with his son. I think that's very sweet. And I'm happy that they didn't really talk about like who the mother might be. I know that was like a big like theory, I think, with Sunshine's story, if I'm remembering correctly. People thought it might have been hinted that it was Peach, or there's something I don't really remember Sunshine's story, if I'm being honest. But yeah, I'm glad they just kind of focused on what was there already and their dynamic. I thought that was very good. I will say, okay, so before I saw the movie, I saw that godforsaken Twitter post with Fox McCloud next to the Ukiki, and I was like, this has to be like some April Fool's shit. What is going on here? And then, so first of all, I think they should have kept that as a leak, like not a leak, but like a reveal. I think the crowd would have actually gone insane. I mean, the theater I went to had like 4 people in it, but the hypothetical crowd would have gone crazy, right? I think that's a very fun, weird, niche little idea, right? But I knew he was in there, and I thought his render looked kind of bad on the poster. But when they actually revealed him, I was kind of soy jacking. I don't really know a lot about Star Fox, if I'm being honest with you. I've kind of enjoyed it from afar, right? But I haven't actually played any of the games except for a little bit of the SNES one on Nintendo Online, very briefly, before I got kind of bored. But I enjoy the characterization and the characters in the world, from afar, and I want to play it eventually. I want to play Star Fox 64, because that one I think is just like, it's the most popular, and, it just looks like the most interesting to me. But yeah, anyway, I liked the 2D animation section when Fox was talking. I do think, okay, I feel like all of my weird moments I had in the movie, I might just be exposing myself for not knowing much about some of these characters, but I swear Fox wasn't this cocky. For some reason, I kind of had the idea that he was like kind of a good-natured guy, who was just trying to do the right thing, trying to, I think like his dad died or something, and then he's like trying to be like a good boy in the name of his father, right? Or something like that. And I always was under the assumption that okay, what's the rabbit's name? Oh my god. The rabbit was like kind of a good-natured older character. Slippy was kind of silly, and then Falco was the one who was kind of a bitch, right? Kind of cocky, kind of annoying, but like overall still had a good heart, right? That was kind of my impression of the characters. Fox was very cocky in this, to the point where I'm like, were they trying to like capitalize on like the Nick Wilde in like fandom by making him like kind of a goober? I don't know. It was interesting, but I still had a good time. I actually was very pleasantly surprised about how much I liked it, and I was very excited to see such kind of like a niche character. I talked to a bunch of my friends before the movie and been like, "Did you see the leak on Twitter?" And they were like, "What?" And I was like, "Are you okay if I spoil it?" And they were like, "Sure." And I was like, "Fox McCloud is going to be in the movie." And they were like, "Who?" And I was like, Star Fox? And they're like, "No." And then I was like, "Okay, do you know Smash Bros? Do you know the Fox from Smash Bros?" And they're like, "What?" So it's a very niche topic among like people who will casually be going to the Mario movie, right? And I believe you can tell this is very unscripted because I haven't done any research on anything, but I believe there's a new Star Fox game coming out. Okay. Maybe. But that's the reason why maybe I think he was in the movie, because maybe they're trying to like make Fox more interesting to the younger crazy fangirl audience, and then the game will sell more copies or something, you know. Anyway, I got really excited when Falco showed up because he's my favorite, from afar, of course. You know, I'm not trying to be a fake fan, but I do enjoy the characters in the world and everything. So anyway, I actually really enjoyed his presence in the movie, although I just think it was kind of strange to have him there at all, also. Like, okay, lots of things in the movie felt very scrambled together, and then the non-Mario characters made the movie feel even messier. And I think a lot of it is the fact that it's branded as like the Super Mario Galaxy movie, and it very only vaguely felt like a Galaxy movie. They went to some other planets, Rosalina was there, and they had the star transportation thingy. But it felt weird that they needed a pilot when like they can get around with the star things, right? So that felt kind of strange. It felt like they were trying to write in like a soft launch Smash Bros movie. They also had the Pikmin. I thought I was going insane at first when they zoomed into the Olimar rocket ship, the Pikmin rocket ship thing. And I was like, is that gonna be Olimar? And then the Pikmin came out of it. And I was like, oh my god, I was right. And then also Game & Watch was there. I thought that was cute. I wish they had him do the bacon thing, because I think that's always a fun thing to pull out Smash Bros. But that was kind of fun. But it was like I was jacking, and then I was like, wait, what movie am I watching again? You know, and then I was expecting this to be kind of like a soft launch for the Smash Bros movie, and then the ending teaser would be like the Smash Bros characters stepping out and being like, it's time to smash. And then that would be like, the next movie is going to be the Smash Bros movie. But instead they had the teaser with Daisy, which is fine. I thank God she's finally here. I think Rosalina before Daisy is kind of crazy. On that note, I also was expecting Birdo and Yoshi to meet and like have a moment, but they didn't really do anything. Also, Birdo felt very older compared to Yoshi, which would have been weird given their like weird, like hinted at romance bond thing going on. Anyway, I thought she was so cool though. I loved her. Overall, it's like the characters that they did have, I wish we spent more time with. And then other characters, I was happy about the cameo, but I was also very confused, and it also felt very disjointed. Like, I was really happy we got so many cool Star Fox moments, but then I was also like, couldn't they just use the star thing? You know? It was, anyway. But those are basically my thoughts. I thought the Rosalina Peach sister twist was kind of strange. I thought it was cool baby Peach existed. But again, I'm gonna pull out my weird, like, cultural osmosis galaxy thing. I kind of thought that there was a fan theory sprouted from people who played Galaxy, thinking that Rosalina was Mario and Peach's future daughter or something like that. And the sister angle felt weird. It felt like they were like, oh, they're both blonde. And then, you know, and then having Peach be like this Cosmos, like, space princess was kind of strange, because she doesn't really have space powers. They were, like, made of stardust, and they lived on, like, a rock together. It was very weird. And then they had, like, an Anna Elsa, like, power of sisterhood moment at the end that I was like, okay, that's interesting. You know, it's fine, whatever, but I think if I was a little more into the Mario fandom, I would probably have a lot more questions. I would be like, why, what, you know? So, overall, I had a fun time. And it made me want to play Star Fox. I thought it was fun. I kind of hope they just make these movies forever. I mean, I just think it's really fun to have, like, well animated Nintendo characters on a big screen. I will say though, the like orchestrations of like classic Mario songs, they always get me. It's so corny when they like go underground and then like the underground level theme plays, but it's like on cellos. I was like, okay. I think there was a Yoshi Story one, which I enjoyed. It was either Yoshi Story or yeah, I think so, or Dr. Mario theme. One of the ones that plays in Smash. Anyway, that's basically my thoughts. I mean, I had fun, but it was also just kind of like a big popcorn movie. And it was kind of fun in like a campy, corny way, which I know isn't everyone's thing. And it's also a lot of people who really, really, really like Mario maybe won't be satisfied by that because maybe they feel like their characters are being like kind of tarnished in like kind of a corny way. But I ended up having a lot of fun. I mean, even characters that I really care about, like, you know, Yoshi or whatever, I still was okay with the way that they did him because it's a different canon, you know? It's kind of how I feel about the Sonic movies where it's just a different canon and they just kind of are doing what they're going to do. And it's kind of for a younger audience. So, you know, I had fun. I had a lot of fun actually. And I'm excited to see what else they do. I hope they do like a Smash Bros movie. That way maybe the like random Nintendo characters won't feel so out of place. It just kind of felt like if they're going to do a Mario movie, like utilize the Mario characters you already have instead of writing plot points that require other characters. Like at first I was like, oh, how are they gonna like there's no Mario character that could be like a pilot, right? Unless there's some obscure RPG character that I'm not thinking of. But it's like, why even write that you need a pilot in? Like, just have like the colony of bees carry a car or something. I don't know. Anyway, those are my thoughts. I had a lot of fun. And, yeah, I don't know. I've been watching a lot of movies and reading a lot of books and having a pretty good time. And maybe I'll share my thoughts of other media soon. Anyway, that's it. If you watched the movie, let me know what you thought in the comments. Let me know if you liked it, if you disliked it, what you thought. If you're like a Mario head or a Star Fox head, let me know what your thoughts were about some of the characterization or like character dynamics. Because I feel like even though in the theater I was a very like, that's the dragon from Odyssey. That's the dinosaur from Odyssey. I also like haven't really played that many Mario games and or any Star Fox. So, if you are one of those like people who is like a huge fan and like knows everything about it, I would actually love to learn your thoughts about some of the dynamics and maybe some of the wrong things or some of the things they actually got really right. I would love to know. So anyway, yep, that's the video. Yoshi, belong.